What if the restlessness you have been feeling is not anxiety? What if the heaviness sitting in your chest right now is not depression? What if the feeling that something is about to shift, something big, something permanent, something that changes everything, is not your imagination? Archangel Michael has a message for you today. And if you felt pulled to press play on this video, chosen one, that was not an accident. That was the call. And it is time to answer it. Number one, the feeling you cannot name is God trying to get your attention. You have been feeling something. Not sadness exactly, not fear exactly, not excitement exactly. Something underneath all of those things. Something that sits in the quiet moments when the noise of the day fades and you are left alone with yourself and whatever is pressing on your spirit. You have tried to explain it to people and the words never quite land right. You have tried to ignore it and it comes back louder. You have tried to understand it through logic and logic keeps falling short. Chosen one, that feeling is not a malfunction. It is a transmission. It is God speaking in the frequency that bypasses the rational mind and goes directly to the part of you that knows. The part that existed before the world told you what to think, what to believe, what to expect from your own life. That part of you is receiving something right now. A call, an invitation, a warning wrapped in love from a source that sees your entire timeline and knows what is coming for you and knows what is required of you in this specific moment. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold between what is and what is meant to be. He is the protector of chosen ones, the guardian of those who carry a specific light in a world that frequently tries to extinguish it. And his message in this season is not gentle, it is urgent. Not because God is angry, because time is moving. Because the window for certain alignments, certain decisions, certain turnings of the heart toward what is true, it does not stay open indefinitely. The feeling you cannot name is the sound of that window. It is not threatening you, it is inviting you to stop waiting, to stop postponing, to stop living as though the most important decisions of your spiritual life can be made later when things are more settled, when you feel more ready, when the circumstances are more convenient. There is no more convenient moment than the one in which you are currently standing, and the feeling you cannot name is the evidence of that truth pressing on your spirit from the inside out. God is calling you right now. And the first step in answering is simply acknowledging that you can hear it. Number two, Archangel Michael does not appear to the comfortable. He appears to the ones standing at a crossroads. There is a reason Michael's presence is described in sacred texts as both magnificent and overwhelming. He does not come to the places in your life where everything is settled and certain and requiring nothing from you. He comes to the edges, the thresholds, the moments where the path ahead requires something from you that the path behind never demanded, where staying the same is no longer spiritually neutral, but has become its own kind of active choice against your purpose. If you are in a season right now where you feel the weight of decision pressing on you from multiple directions, where the old ways of living and thinking and relating are no longer sitting comfortably even when nothing externally has changed, where something inside you knows that the person you have been is not the same as the person you are being called to become, that is not coincidence. That is the signature of a crossroads. And Michael stands at crossroads. He stands there not to make the decision for you. That is not the nature of divine assistance, and chosen ones understand this better than most. He stands there to make sure you do not walk past the crossroads pretending it is just another stretch of flat road. To make sure you feel the weight of the moment accurately. To make sure that the significance of what is being asked of you in this season registers fully in your spirit so that when you make your choice, it is made with the full consciousness of what you are choosing. You are at a crossroads right now, whether you have fully acknowledged it or not. Something in your life is asking for a decision, a commitment, a letting go, a stepping forward, an honest reckoning with something you have been managing rather than addressing. And the discomfort of this season, the spiritual pressure you have been under, that is not punishment. That is Michael's presence making sure you feel the crossroads under your feet so you do not sleepwalk past the most significant turning point of this chapter of your life. Number three, God is not calling you because you are perfect. He is calling you because you are chosen for something that requires exactly who you are. This is the part of the message that chosen ones most need to receive and most struggle to believe. The call coming toward you right now is not a call that was issued because you finally became worthy enough. It is not arriving because you have successfully eliminated every flaw and doubt and area of incomplete growth from your life. It is not waiting for you to become the version of yourself that never struggles, never questions, never carries the weight of the human experience fully. It is calling you now, as you are, with everything you carry, the parts that are strong and the parts that are still being strengthened, the parts that are clear and the parts that are still working toward clarity, the parts of your story that feel like evidence of your readiness and the parts that feel like evidence of your inadequacy. God does not call the already complete. He calls the willing. He calls the ones who are not finished, but who have said yes to the process of becoming. He calls the ones whose specific combination of gifts and wounds and experiences and capacities equips them precisely for the work they are being asked to do. Your story is not the obstacle to your calling. Your story is the qualification for it. The specific things you have survived, the particular depths you have developed, the exact way you see and feel and understand the world, it is not accidental. It is architectural. You were built for something that requires every part of what you are, including the parts you would leave behind if given the choice. Archangel Michael's warning to you in this season is this: do not make yourself smaller in the name of humility. Do not confuse unworthiness with holiness. Do not wait to answer the call until you feel finished, because that day will never arrive and the call will not wait indefinitely. Step forward. Imperfect, unfinished, still becoming fully you. That is who is being called, and that is who needs to answer. Number 4, the silence in your prayer life is not God's absence. It is the loudest part of His presence. Many chosen ones in this season are experiencing something in their spiritual life that feels like distance. Like the connection that was once immediate and clear has become somehow muffled. Like the prayers that used to feel heard now seem to disappear into a kind of spiritual quiet that can begin to feel, if you stay in it long enough, like abandonment, like God has moved on or turned away, or is waiting for you to figure out something you cannot quite identify. This is the most important correction in Michael's message today. That silence is not absence. That quiet is not withdrawal. That stillness is not God looking away from you. It is God looking directly at you in a way that requires stillness on your end in order to be received. It is the kind of divine communication that does not come through noise or through the familiar channels or through the spiritual habits that have worked before. It comes in the deep quiet, in the space that exists on the other side of your own agenda for what the conversation should look like. Many chosen ones pray for answers. What they receive is silence, and they interpret the silence as the absence of an answer. But chosen one, silence is an answer. It is the answer that says, stop talking and start listening. Stop bringing your plans to the conversation and start being quiet enough to receive the plan that was designed for you before you had the capacity to design your own. Stop measuring the communication by whether it sounds like what you expected, and start measuring it by whether your spirit is moved in the stillness. God is not silent because He has nothing to say. He is quiet because the next thing He has to say requires you to be quiet enough to hear it. And that level of quiet is not comfortable. It requires the release of the spiritual noise you have become accustomed to, the performing of prayer rather than the inhabiting of it, the filling of the silence with your own words, when what is needed is the courage to remain in it. Michael's message here is specific. Go back to the silence. Not the silence of spiritual disconnection, but the silence of active, expectant listening. Bring your whole heart and nothing to say, and wait. Because what is waiting in that stillness for you is the clearest and most direct thing God has said to you in a very long time. Number 5, the people around you cannot hear what you are hearing, and that is by design. If you have tried to share what you are experiencing spiritually in this season with the people closest to you and found that it does not quite translate, that they receive your words but do not receive the experience behind them, that they offer responses that are caring but somehow land beside the point of what you are trying to communicate, this is not a failure of their love for you. It is a feature of your calling. Not every call is communal in its receiving. Some calls come to an individual frequency that is specific enough that it cannot simply be shared over in casual conversation. The depth of what God is asking from you in this season, the specific alignment He is calling you toward, the particular work being prepared for your hands, it was transmitted to you, and not to the people around you because it belongs to you, because you are the one with the specific equipment to receive it, carry it, and ultimately fulfill it. This is not isolation, it is selection. There is a profound difference. Isolation removes you from connection and leaves you with nothing. Selection removes you from the noise of generalized spiritual experience and places you in the specific quiet where your individual assignment can be heard clearly. You are not alone. You are in the company of every chosen one who has stood in a moment where the call came to them specifically, and they had to decide whether to trust what they heard, even when no one around them could validate the hearing. Archangel Michael is the one who stands between the chosen and the confusion that comes with this specific experience. His presence in your life right now is the validation you cannot get from the people around you. When you feel him, when you sense the protection and the urgency and the specific kind of spiritual authority that has been present in your season, even when you couldn't name it, that is the confirmation. You are not imagining this. You are not making it up. You are not too much or too spiritual or too intense. You are receiving, and what you are receiving is real. Number 6. There is something you have been postponing that God is done waiting on. Every chosen one has one, the thing they know they are supposed to do. Not because someone told them, because they have known it from somewhere deeper than told. It might be a direction they have been resisting, a conversation they have been avoiding, a decision they have been managing in the middle ground between yes and no for so long that the middle ground has started to feel like a location rather than a transition. A surrender they know is required, but that requires releasing something they are not yet ready to release. Michael's message in this season is urgent about this specific thing. Not aggressive, not threatening, but clear in a way that leaves no room for the comfortable ambiguity that allowed the postponing to continue. The window for this particular thing, the season in which this specific step is available to be taken in the way it is available right now, it is not permanently open. Not because God withdraws his invitation out of impatience, because every divine timing is precise. And what is possible in one season is not necessarily possible in the next. What is the thing? You already know. It rose in your mind the moment the question appeared in these words. It is the thing that your spirit immediately identified and your mind immediately began constructing reasons to continue postponing. The reason that it is not the right time yet. The reason that you need to be more prepared. The reason that the circumstances need to shift before the step is realistic. The reason that you are working toward it but not yet at the point where the move makes sense. Chosen one, Michael is standing at the threshold of that thing right now. Not to push you through it before you are ready, but to tell you with divine clarity that you are more ready than you believe. That the preparation you think is still required is already complete. That the circumstances you are waiting to align are already aligned at a level you cannot see from your current vantage point. That the step is not a leap into the unknown. It is a step into something that has been prepared and waiting for your foot to land on it. Do not postpone it past this season. The call is about this, among other things. But this specifically, and it is time. Number 7, God is not trying to take from you. He is trying to upgrade what you are carrying. There is a misunderstanding that runs through the spiritual life of many chosen ones. It is subtle and it is persistent, and it shapes the relationship with the divine in ways that create a quiet resistance to the very things that are being offered. The misunderstanding is this, that when God calls you to release something, to let go of something, to surrender something that has been part of your life in a significant way, it is because he is taking something from you, removing something, creating a loss. This is not what is happening. What is happening when the call asks you to release is not subtraction, it is exchange. The thing being asked of you to release is not being taken into nothing. It is being exchanged for something your current capacity cannot hold alongside it. Like a hand that is full cannot receive what is being offered to it. Not because what is being offered is unavailable, because there is no room in the grip of what is already being held. What God is asking you to release in this season, whatever it is not your enemy. It was not a mistake to have held it. It served a purpose. It carried you through a season that required it. But the season has changed. And what carried you through the last chapter is not what will carry you through the next one. And the next chapter, chosen one, is the one that was built for you. The one that your entire preparation was pointing toward. The one that your gifts, and your depth and your earned wisdom are designed to inhabit fully. The release is not loss. It is preparation for reception. It is making room in your hands for what is about to be placed in them. And what is about to be placed in your hands is of a magnitude that requires them to be empty of what they currently hold. Michael's message here is gentle but direct. Trust the exchange. What is being asked for is smaller than what is being offered. Even if it does not feel that way from inside the releasing. Even if the letting go is the hardest thing you have done. Even if the space it creates feels terrifying before it feels like freedom. Trust the exchange. Because God does not call chosen ones to loss. He calls them to expansion. And expansion always requires room. Number 8. The warfare you have been experiencing is evidence of what you are carrying. Chosen ones are not persecuted randomly. The specific nature of the spiritual, emotional, and circumstantial resistance that shows up in a chosen one's life is directly proportional to the significance of what they carry. Ordinary people, living ordinary lives in alignment with ordinary purposes, do not experience the specific kind of opposition that chosen ones know intimately, the kind that feels targeted, the kind that comes at the exact moments when something important is about to happen, the kind that tries to reach the one place that, if shaken, would destabilize everything else. If this season has felt like warfare, if the resistance has been unusually heavy, if the attacks on your peace, your faith, your sense of self and purpose have felt more intense than what seems proportionate to your circumstances, that is not evidence that you are losing. It is evidence of what you are carrying. The enemy does not spend significant resources on things that are not significant. The level of opposition in your life is a direct reflection of the level of impact your assignment is designed to have. Archangel Michael is the protector of chosen ones, specifically in the context of spiritual warfare. His name in sacred understanding literally means who is like God. He is the warrior of heaven, and he does not engage in warfare that is not significant. His presence in your season, the sense of something fighting on your behalf in the unseen spaces of your life, that is real. You have not been navigating this alone. Even in the moments where the opposition felt like it had complete access to you, even in the moments where the warfare seemed to be winning, you were covered. You are covered. And here is what Michael wants you to understand about the warfare of this specific season. It is intensifying because you are approaching something. The opposition always gets louder as the chosen one gets closer to the thing their calling is designed to accomplish. The pressure you feel right now is not a sign to retreat. It is a sign that you are heading in exactly the right direction. The door the warfare is trying to keep you from is the very door God is calling you to walk through. Hold your ground, chosen one. The battle is real, and it is already won. Number 9, God has been protecting you from things you never knew were coming. Here is the part of divine protection that chosen ones rarely fully appreciate in the moment it is happening. The things that God kept from reaching you. The doors that closed before you could walk through them into spaces that would have diminished you. The relationships that did not progress past a certain point even when you wanted them to. The opportunities that fell apart before they materialized even though they looked like exactly what you needed. The paths that somehow kept redirecting even when you tried to force them straight. In the moment, many of those closings felt like loss, like failure, like the universe was working against you rather than for you. But chosen one, what if every closed door was a protected one? What if the relationship that ended before it began was shielding you from a dynamic that would have cost you years of your energy and pieces of your peace? What if the opportunity that dissolved was the one that would have taken you further from your alignment, even as it gave you the appearance of progress? What if the path that kept redirecting was not fighting you, but guiding you with a precision that your limited vantage point could not yet appreciate? Archangel Michael's role in a chosen one's life is not only to fight the battles that are visible, it is to stand guard over the ones that never become visible because the threat never got close enough to be seen. The warfare you know about is a fraction of the warfare that has been conducted on your behalf. The protection you are aware of is a fraction of the protection that has been active around your life in this season. Rest in this truth, not passively. With the grounded confidence of someone who knows they are covered. who knows that the God calling them forward is also the God who has been clearing the path in ways they cannot fully see, who knows that the delays and the redirections and the closings that felt like opposition were in many cases the deepest form of divine favor available to them in that season. You have been more protected than you know, and the same protection that has been active behind the scenes of your life until now is walking with you into everything that is ahead. You are not going into the next chapter unguarded. You are going into it with the full force of heaven's attention on your specific journey. That is not a small thing, that is everything. Number 10, the call is not asking you to leave your life. It is asking you to inhabit it fully. One of the most common misunderstandings about a divine call is that it requires a dramatic departure, that answering God means leaving behind the ordinary and entering something entirely separate from the life you have been living, that the call will look like a sudden, unmistakable, externally visible transformation that announces itself clearly and requires you to rebuild everything from the ground up. For some chosen ones, the call does look like that. But for many, and perhaps for you in this specific season, the call is not asking you to leave. It is asking you to arrive, to be fully present in the life you are already living, rather than half present while waiting for something that looks more like what you imagined your purpose would feel like. To inhabit every conversation, every responsibility, every relationship, every ordinary moment with the full weight of the chosen one you are, rather than the distracted, half-committed version that is always looking past the present towards something that feels more significant. The sacred is not waiting for you in a different location. It is waiting for you in this one, in the way you treat the people directly in front of you, in the integrity you bring to the things no one is watching, in the faithfulness you demonstrate in the small assignments while the large ones are still being prepared, in the quality of your presence in the moments that feel insignificant but are in fact the exact training ground for everything that is coming. Archangel Michael's call is not to a different life, it is to a different level of presence in this one. Answer it here, now, in the life you are already holding. And watch what the fully inhabited ordinary becomes when a chosen one stops waiting for the extraordinary to announce itself and starts bringing the extraordinary to what is already here. God is calling you. The call is real. The time is now. And you, chosen one, are ready. Part 2, number 11. God is not calling you back to who you were. He is calling you forward to who you were always meant to become. There is a version of spiritual longing that looks backward, that measures closeness to God by how much the current experience resembles an earlier one, a season of faith that felt more alive, more certain, more connected, a time when prayer was easier, when trust came more naturally, when the relationship with the divine had a texture that the current season seems to be missing, and in the absence of that earlier feeling, the conclusion that something has been lost, that the call being heard right now is a call to return to what was. But chosen one, God does not call forward and backward at the same time. The call coming to you in this season is not a call to return, it is a call to advance. The earlier seasons of your spiritual life, the ones that felt more certain or more simple or more alive in the particular way they did, they were not the destination. They were the preparation. They built in you the capacity for what is being asked of you now. They gave you the foundation on which the current chapter is being constructed. But they are not where you are going. You are going somewhere your earlier self did not have the depth to inhabit. The version of you that God is calling into expression now is not a restoration of a previous version. It is the emergence of something that has been developing through every season, every challenge, every moment of doubt, and every moment of clarity. Something more refined, more rooted, more capable of the specific work that the next chapter requires. Something that could not have existed without the full journey of everything you have lived through. Do not look for God in the rear view. He is ahead of you. In the territory your obedience is about to enter. In the version of your life that the call is pointing toward. In the people, the impact, the alignment, the fullness of purpose that is waiting not in the past, but in the forward motion of a chosen one who answered when the call came. Number 12. Your doubt is not the opposite of faith. It is the evidence that your faith is real. Many chosen ones in seasons of divine calling experience something that they interpret as a sign of spiritual failure, the doubt. the questions that rise in the presence of a call that requires more than the previous chapter required. The moments of wondering whether what they are hearing is real, whether they are the right person for what is being asked, whether the step of obedience being required of them is one they are actually capable of taking without falling. This doubt does not indicate a weak faith. It indicates a real one, because doubt only lives in the presence of something that matters. You do not doubt things that have no stakes for you. The doubt is the evidence that the call is landing in the real, human, vulnerable part of you, rather than just the spiritual performance layer. It is the evidence that you are engaging with the call honestly, rather than performing a confidence you don't fully feel.